Hi, everybody. Mark here with Couch to Camino 2026, and we are day 196. We're under 200 days. The next six and change months, it's going to go really fast. Should be fun. Big news. We have over 100 subscribers now, which I just find ridiculous. I was counting them on maybe 10 to be realistic, but we have over 100. I would like to apologize. I thought if I ever got to a certain number, I would get a cake and have cute little candles and such. But you guys snuck up on me, and I didn't get a chance to get a cake or candles. So what you get is 4K confetti. Ready? Yay! There you go. That's as fancy as it gets. Um, as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and feel free to email me at askmecaminoquestion@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions to the fullest I can. One little bit of housekeeping. My brother-in-law Clyde is currently in Spain on Camino. He's walking the English way. He's about halfway done, as near as I can tell. He's having a fantastic time. He's grinding out those big hills. He's a hell of an athlete and a great guy. So everybody wish him all the best down in the comments on the off chance he gets enough Wi-Fi to be able to watch this. But he's doing a great job. So let's talk a little bit about last week's episode on nutrition. I almost pulled that video down. I was so distracted with what was going on with the builders and everything here on the farm. I just lost track of a lot of stuff, even though I had it written down right here in my old tablet. I missed some stuff. So let me give you the quickest, coherent version I can. Everybody make a fist. So once a day, try to imagine on a plate this much protein, this much carbohydrate, this much good green vegetables. If you can get that once a day, you're probably going to be doing really okay. If you can find that twice a day, even if I'm not saying you have to have it in one meal, but if you can split it up over course meals, if you can get this much protein, that much carbohydrate, that much vegetables twice a day, even better, 3 times a day, you're going to be near the best you can do. So it's just a little rule of thumb or a rule of fist, and it's great because fists are sized to the person. My fist matches me. Your fist is going to match you. So kind of works out. That way you don't have to worry about grams and calories and all that. It's just size it to yourself. You're going to have a great time. And don't get scared of, don't be afraid of all the great Spanish junk food. They have chip, if you're into potato chips and Pringles and stuff, they have chip flavors we don't have here, and I'm insanely jealous. So this week we're talking about hydration. There is some nuts and bolts there, but for the most part, it's water. So let's do the TLDL, the too long didn't listen. Here we go. Number 1, drink a lot of water. Thank you. That's it. We'll see you next week. Bye. Really. Number 1. Oh, by the way, I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm just a guy who walks around Spain. I'm sharing with you my opinions on what's worked for me. It may not work for you. It may kill you. If it does, it's not my fault. Number 1, safe, clean, potable, good-tasting water is available largely for free all along the Camino. Keep in mind, and I'm going to keep saying this probably every video from now until we leave, this is not a traditional hiking experience. You do not need a water filter. You do not need water for purification pills. You don't need a UV sterilizing pen, any of that. You're going to begin and end every day. Begin in a city, end in a city. Begin in a town, end in a town, village to village. You're going to begin every day. You're going to end every day, and multiple times throughout the day, with a couple of exceptions, you're going to have chance for free, potable, easy to find water. I'll put an example over here somewhere of how things are marked as potable. For the most part, when you're walking through the villages and towns, you're going to see water fountains, big ornate fountains, or small ornate fountains everywhere. and you'll see people using them. If they're non-potable, they will be clearly marked. If they're potable, they may be marked, but if not, it's assumed that they are. So if you see the little non-potable sign, don't use it. But if it's a well-used fountain in the middle of the village, it's probably going to be fine. You're going to be great. Number 3, hydration products. If you're a person who really loves hydration products like Gatorade, Element Packs, Liquid IV, that sort of stuff. Now, I haven't seen the Element Packs or the Liquid IV packs available in Spain. I don't think they were the last time. They might be now. I mean, those guys are kind of taking over. But things like Powerade and the Spanish version of Gatorade called Aquarius, everywhere. You can begin and multiple chances throughout the day to get that stuff. If you need a hydration product, particularly if you're there in the summertime, I highly recommend you maybe indulge in those. As a quick aside, pharmacies in Spain also have things like this, Aquila. This is a effervescent orange magnesium and potassium tablet. There's really no salt in it to speak of. Should probably look at it. Yeah, there's not a lot of salt in here, but if you're there in summer or you're a very heavy sweater, and I mean to the point where you've got salt rings on your clothes, which in summer I do sometimes, having a little extra potassium, magnesium on top of salt is a good idea. And those are available everywhere. And like liter bottles of Aquarius, or I think there's a 1.5 liter bottle is the one I usually get of Aquarius, which is like a Gatorade. It's actually made by Coca-Cola, who makes Gatorade. You can get this stuff. It's really cheap. It's like €1.50 or €2 for a 1.5 liters. At least it was in 24 when I was there. Really good stuff. Really inexpensive. Number 4, if you've never really done any endurance things like this, or been out, like just been outside for multiple hours under the sun in the wind, biggest thing you can do is try to drink on a schedule. Drink before you get thirsty. If you're thirsty, you're slightly behind your hydration schedule. Personally, I try to drink at least a good drink out of my system every half an hour. More, if I get to the top of a hill and I'm breathing hard, I'm losing moisture, so I'll take an extra hit of water. So drink before you get thirsty. Drink to the point where you think you might be drinking a little too much. Don't make yourself sick, but the more you can keep on board, the better off you're going to be. Number 5, if you're keto or hardcore carnivore and you're not ingesting a whole lot of carbohydrates, really keep ahead of your hydration schedule. If you're in that lifestyle, you know that dehydration is a risk. For referring back to the video last week when we talked about the energy reserve in your system, glycogen, for every gram of glycogen your body stores, it chemically bonds with it 3 grams of water. So by having that glycogen storage on board fused with the water, it keeps you better hydrated. So if you're on those diets, be aware of that. Number 6, whatever water system you decide on is great. I tend to stay away from things like internal bladder systems. When they break, you can't replace them in the field. If you have issues with them, they're almost impossible to fix, and they're hard to clean unless you take a cleaning kit with you. If you can just use water bottles that you can easily recycle and replace periodically, do that. The other thing is, the bottles, when you're drinking from a bottle, you are putting a little bit of bacteria back into it. So replacing these about once a week may prevent some tummy bugs. So just recycle them, get a new one. And in the ramble, we'll talk about some accessories for these that makes it a little easier. If you can't reach with, like me, I have little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. I can't reach the water holders on a backpack. just doesn't work for me. I've got a little thing that I'll show you later, but just don't over-tech your water system. Make it easy to fill, easy to manage, easy to clean, easy to replace if you need to. So that's really about it for hydration for the too long didn't listen. You know, it's no great mystery. If you're out doing exercise, drink lots of water. Get a hydration product into you if you think you need it. And drink before you get thirsty. Drink all you can. Don't make yourself sick. It's no fun getting a water tummy, which I've done on a half marathon. So that's about it for this week for that. So I will see you next week. And I think next week we're going to talk about health and safety stuff. And we'll talk about the pharmacies, meds, bed bugs, first aid kits, all sorts of stuff. It may be a little bit of a long one. I mean, longer than usual. So that's it for the TLDL. If this is where you usually end, I'll see you next week. For the rest of us, here's where we're going on the ramble. Quite a bit to talk about. So this week's drink is, and I have cleverly positioned my camera in a point where you guys can't see much. Bear with me for a second. Boop. There we go. So, remember this from last week? Red wine. And over ice. And a lightly carbonated lemonade. Basically, it's a lemon soda. If you see lemonade on a menu anywhere in Spain, it's going to be something like a lemon Fanta or a lemon Fago. It's not what we in America would consider a lemonade. So what I've just made is a Tinto de Verano, summer wine, ice, red wine, lightly sparkling lemonade or a lemon soda. It's bright, it's refreshing. It's also noon, so I get to actually enjoy this one while I'm talking to you today. I'm going to whitewash or broad stroke a bit of Spanish culinary tradition here, but sangria is a lot of times it's for parties, it's for big family get-togethers, it's for the holidays, it's for, you know, special nights when you're going out kind of thing. It's also very much for tourists, and it's the one kind of touristy thing you'll see along the Camino route is you'll see signs for sangria. It can be a little expensive. It tastes great. There's nothing wrong with it. But just keep in mind that there are cheaper versions, and Tinto de Verano, if you have a bartender who really likes you, if you order sangria, very often they will recommend this because a pitcher of sangria can be 15 to 20 euros, depending on where you're at, what city you're in. One of these guys is a couple of euros, you know, the cost of a beer. So just a better option, and they are delicious. Excuse me. Bit of a bad edit there. So let's talk about water. This is not going to be hugely in-depth. We kind of covered everything in the TLDL. But every village, every town, every city, 99.9% are going to have a public water fountain. You will hear people in Camino saying they got a tummy bug because of bad water. Very unlikely. Keep in mind that these fountains are not put there for you. They're not for the Caminos, the pilgrims. Now you're going to see a lot of them in Camino country that have, you know, concha shells on them and that kind of thing. And they are there, you know, for the pilgrims, but you know, they're there for the entire village or that neighborhood. If people in that neighborhood are getting sick from that water, very quickly, they're going to let the mayor's office know. The mayor's office is going to close that fountain. They're going to get it dealt with because it's a key part of that village. When you're in some of the mid-sized towns, they'll tend to be in like the main plaza. There'll be a big fountain in there. And you'll see kids and parents running up and filling water bottles, and it's part of life. So the water there does seem to be safe. As I said in the TLDL, the completely opposite of what an American would be worried about. If they're not marked as potable, they're most likely potable. It's just assumed they are. If it's marked as non-potable, there'll be a sign on it. Again, I'll put a little thing up. It's pretty obvious when they're not, and people will warn you if not. They don't want you to get sick either. Referencing the tummy bugs, most tummy bugs, 90% of tummy bugs that you're getting on Camino are because you're not washing your hands and nobody else is washing their hands enough. If you wash your hands, you use a hand sanitizer often. You go into a little bar on your way into Pamplona from Zubiri. Wish I could remember the name of the one I'm thinking of. It's right by the river. There may be 1,000 pilgrims come through there and use that bathroom, and they're touching the tables, they're touching the counter, they're touching everything. That's a lot of grubby paws. So wash your hands before you eat. Use some Purell, use some hand sanitizer, do something. And you can get those little travel packs of hand sanitizer. And we'll talk about it in health and safety next week, but it's really easy to find, and it's a good darn idea to keep along. So one of the things that I ran into, I had a little bit of a tummy bug coming out of Castro Jerez in 2024, and I knew it wasn't food related because everything I had eaten for the past 48 hours had been hot food. I really hadn't had any sandwiches or anything cold. So I knew it probably wasn't that. And I'm very good about washing my hands and sanitizing. But then I remembered I went to fill a water bottle, and it was in the bathroom of my albergue when I first got there, and I had a private bathroom for that one. And usually to fill these, because these I use smart water bottles. These are so tall they don't fit under a sink in any bathroom you can think of. So usually I just uncap it. I'll turn on the cold water in the shower and just try to get shower water into it, and it's fine. I had gotten lazy and I didn't want to do that. So I had turned on the cold water. I laid this sideways in the sink and used my hand as a funnel to fill it up about 3/4 of the way. I'm betting that's what happened, because like an idiot, I hadn't washed my hands before I did that, and I was just putting whatever I'd been touching all afternoon right into my water bottle. Tummy bug, I just had some Imodium to deal with it for a couple of days, but yeah, it's dumb little mistakes like that can put a little bit of a dent in the Camino. So, just for the heck of it, I'm going to show some pictures of the fountains you'll see here and there, just so you get an idea for what to look for. They're not going to be a modern looking, what we think of as a water fountain, in an office or a school. Now, these are ornate, really interesting things. They're going to have buttons on the post. Sometimes there's a button on the ground. You have to step on the button to get it to activate. Very few of them have just a faucet. They're almost all button. That way they don't stay running all the time, or somebody leaves one. I'll show a few pics in here. That should be enough of a break. Hydration stuff. Let's talk about hydration products. The Spanish version of Gatorade, Aquarius, is amazing. It comes in lemon, lime, and orange. It comes in a low to no sugar and a full throttled sugar. They're all great. My personal favorite is the orange in either the sugared or non-sugared. If you really like things like Element and Liquid IV, if you want to take those packs with you, take a few, throw them in your backpack. Great. Nothing wrong with it. They're delicious. Just as an aside, so Element, I like Element. I use Element. There's some of their stuff that, like the salted chocolate Element pack in coffee is really weirdly good. It's like a slightly salty mocha sort of thing. But anyway, so the guys at Element know that their stuff is a little expensive, so they publish on their website exactly how to make your own hydration salts. They give you the by the gram ratio of salt, magnesium, and potassium. And I'm simplifying that there's very specific types of magnesium and potassium they're used. You do it all by weight, put it through a food mill or something to powder it, and what you end up with is a low-cost hydration powder. I use it here on the farm. It's unflavored. I throw this into juice. I throw this into Gatorade for a little extra hydration. You can make this and take it with you. So one of the odd things about Element that I realized when I started to, after I made my own and I started using it, is you think about how big the packs are that Liquid IV or Element or something like that comes in. Most of that is fillers, flavorings, artificial sweeteners, that sort of thing. When you actually weigh it out, and I have one right here that I weighed out, in one of those great big packs, this is how much actual salt, potassium, and magnesium are in. You see how little that is? It's barely anything. And if you're not doing the Camino in summer when you're going to be exposed to, like on the Meseta, brutal sun, howling wind, getting dehydrated more than you probably will anywhere else. If you just need salt, this is the amount of salt in one of these. This is barely anything. And it's calculated by weight. So instead of spending money on hydration products, unless you love them and they're delicious, this is the equivalent to just over salting your food a couple times. Put a little extra salt in your orange juice. Over salt your tortilla. Over salt your sandwich at lunch. You can do this for free. Salt's on the table. Just do this. If you really want to have fun, I can't recommend this enough. Seriously. If you make your own hydration salts, make up, instead of carrying this, because you got to get in there, get the scoop and everything, make up several hundred of these little glassine packets with a mysterious white powder in it. And then before you go to the airport, just tape them to your body under your shirt. And then I guarantee when you get to TSA, you're going to make lifelong friends with a whole bunch of new and interesting law enforcement personnel you never would have met otherwise. So make some friends on the Camino. Don't do that. I showed these, the Aguilas. There's many versions of these in Spain. These are available at the pharmacies. And we're going to talk next week about pharmacies because they're an odd duck. There's a lot of stuff that's only sold in pharmacies that you can't get in a grocery store or a tienda or a little mercado or whatever. But these are good. They're effervescent orange. I bought these in Zaberi at the pharmacy the last time I was there. There's lots of different flavors. There's one, it's not made by this company, but there's a recovery beverage that comes in a pouch like an Element or a Liquid IV. The flavor is cookie. So imagine just like Nilla wafer cookies dissolved into water and then you drink it. I don't wish ill really on anybody on earth except for the guy that invented that. I really want him to be openly mocked in public for the rest of his life. It's the worst thing I've ever consumed, and I immediately wanted to throw up after I had it. It was just terrible. But all the rest of the flavors are great. The sparkling orange, it's a big favorite. They will, if you just break it in half and put it in your water bottle, it'll funk a water bottle up, and you're going to want to replace your water bottle. I don't know what it does, but it kind of makes the plastic go milky. I suspect it leads to a bacteria buildup, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, just oversalt your food a little bit if you don't want to take hydration products. Get an Aquarius in you; they're delicious, and even the low sugar version. Oh, let's talk about why there's a sugared version and a not sugared version. And believe it or not, it's not just because a lot of people are watching calories. There's folks in the fitness and nutrition sphere who are terrified of glucose spikes. They're terrified of insulin spikes. It's just part of how the human body works. You know, diabetes is a thing. You need to watch that stuff. But the glucose and insulin interaction, it's part of a transport mechanism. That stuff is chemically carrying stuff through your body. It's just not there to make you feel sleepy and make you feel bad. So, and this is, I'm basing this on what the PhD candidate, now Dr. Nick, that I was working with at University of Kansas before my 2018 Camino to get my nutrition under control. A sugared hydration product, like a full sugar Gatorade or Powerade, will get the electrolytes into your system faster because that absorption system and transport system of the insulin and glucose is going to carry it faster. It accelerates your system. The non-sugared, it's going to take hours to get into your system. So what I tend to do is, if I'm walking and I'm really getting hot and I feel like I'm behind my hydration curve, I will drink a sugared hydration product to get that stuff into my system as fast as possible. After I'm done, I'll drink almost exclusively a non-sugar version or low sugar version because I don't need that instant transport mechanism. So just something to consider. Try it. It really does work fairly well. I have, when I kind of started cutting back on sugar a little bit, I did have times where I would do a non-sugar Gatorade or something and during the day, and I just didn't feel it. But getting that sugar, it actually helps. So give it a try. Again, I'm not a doctor. I just have figured some stuff out. Going back to number 4, drink on a schedule. So here's what I do. Before I leave in the morning, I drink an entire liter of water. From when I get up, I drink as soon as I get out of bed, take a shower, do whatever I need, brush my teeth, do whatever I need in the morning. Before I leave, I get a liter of water in me. I want that on board. As I'm walking, I'm drinking every half an hour, trying to keep ahead of my hydration curve. I'll drink a little extra at lunch if I feel like I'm needing it. In the evening when I'm done, my goal is to drink 3 liters of water between when I stop walking and when I go to bed. 3 liters of water. Your body needs water to rehydrate itself, to repair itself, to transport all the goodness that you've been taking in around. It's just super important to make sure you have enough. Being a little bit overhydrated is better than being dehydrated. So, drink on a schedule. We talked a little bit already about the glycogen and water binding, the 3-to-1, 3 grams of water to 1 gram of glycogen. Really not relevant to us that are on a balanced protein carbohydrate diet. If you're keto, if you're carnivore, keep ahead of that because you don't want to get to the point where you're, 3 to 4 hours behind on your hydration curve. It can be a little uncomfortable. You don't need the headache and the dizziness that comes with that. So, and if you're in those camps, you know what I'm talking about. Just stay ahead of it. Okay, for the last one, let's talk a little bit about the hydration systems. Like I said, this is the best thing you can do is just a water bottle. Easily recyclable, easily replaceable. Or hire somebody out of work just to follow you with red wine and lemonade and just have these all day. So if you can have these, have a bottle or two in the back of your in the side pouch of your backpack and you can reach it, just do that. You don't need to get any fancier. You can I've seen them at high school functions and such. You can find clips that'll go around the neck of a water bottle that you can hang on your belt so you can reach it a little easier. I personally don't like things slopping off my belt. It's never really worked for me, but if it works for you, that's a great way to go. The water bladders that you can get to go inside of your backpack, they're usually somewhere between like 2 and 3 liters. They do work well until they don't. They work great until they get dirty and you get a bacteria buildup. That's why they sell cleaning kits for those darn things. I've seen people in Castro Jerez of all places. I watched somebody grab their um, bladder out of their backpack, set it on the ground, open it, fill the bladder, seal it. They pick it up. They put it on a piece of glass or a sharp rock. There's water everywhere. Suddenly, they've got the rest of their day. They have no way to carry water. They ended up going to get a water bottle. I don't like systems that can lead to that sort of failure in the field. Yeah, there's lots of hiking shops, but it may be 3-4 days away. I just don't want to deal with that. The option that I ended up doing years ago was, you can find these on Amazon. This was from a company called Blue Desert. They're not around anymore. They kind of pioneered this. This is an adapter for a drinking tube that screws on to a smart water or any bottle that has what we would consider kind of a standard soda pressurized bottle, like a soda bottle, 28 millimeter. Screws on, dip tube goes down. I put this in the side pocket of my backpack. Tube cups up over my shoulder. It's on my yoke, so when I need a drink, I can grab it. It's right there. It's super convenient. On long days when I know I may be needing a little extra water, I just get another one of these, or there's Spanish versions of these that you can get. I just carry an extra one of these. Literally takes just 30 seconds, maybe 90 seconds to drop the backpack, unscrew it out of this one, screw the cap back on, shove it in, grab the other one, screw it, put it back in, put my backpack back on, and go. Makes it easier and quicker to fill. You don't have to grab that bladder out of the backpack. And if you've ever messed with one of those water bladder systems for a backpack, one of the really annoying things, and maybe they're better now, I just had bad experiences in the past, is you get 3 liters water in a plastic bag and just goes bull. And then you're trying to wedge it into a thin little slot on the back of your backpack and trying to get it worked in. Giant pain in the butt. This is so much easier. These are replaceable in the field every day, multiple times a day. You're going to find a place to get one of these. I recycle mine every week. That way I'm not running risk of bacteria or funk just in general. The other thing I do is, so this hose, and for my system, it's like a, I don't know, 1/4 inch inner diameter, whatever. This stuff is like a penny a foot on Amazon. Years ago, I bought a 25 or 50 foot roll. Before I go on Camino, I just cut, I have a mark on my workbench. I just roll out 2 lengths of this. I thread the pieces onto it, throw it in my pack. I'm ready to go. But I also take an extra piece of this tubing. So if I ever notice the tubing getting a little bit milky on the inside, it means there's a little bit of a bacteria buildup or something is going on in there. I'll throw the original one. I'll throw the one that's getting funky away, and I'll quickly replace it. It takes 5 minutes. I've got a good clean thing. If you are using a hydration system and you're concerned about the cleanliness of it, nothing wrong with getting a little tiny bottle of bleach or something at a tienda. Disassemble this as much as you would want. Soak it in bleach water for a bit, and that may make the tubing milky too. But if you're mixing it, the bleach solution weak enough, it shouldn't be a big deal. But this is my go-to option. I love having water. Sorry about that. I love having water right here where I don't have to reach for anything. It's not a big deal. I just reach down, grab a drink, off I go. Fantastic stuff. And these are all over Amazon now. Back when I got these, Blue Desert was the only company that was making them. Now they're kind of everywhere. So yeah, just drink as much as you can. Use simple systems. Now, if you, I should have said this at the beginning. If you want to use a water filter or a UV sterilizing pen or the water conditioning pills, go ahead. No big deal. If you want to use a bladder system, great. The Camino is actually a really safe place to test drive technology that you might want to use on a more challenging hike like the Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, Continental Divide Trail, something like that. It's really safe. There's almost nowhere on the trail that, a major hydration system failure you're going to have a huge problem. It's going to be a minor pain in the butt for a few hours, but once you're to where you're going, swap it out for some bottles. You're going to be just fine. So really, that's about it for the ramble. Couple of little housekeeping things. I mentioned Clyde. He's doing great. So, I forgot my favorite place. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna give you one in Pamplona. If you've been looking into the Camino, you've probably heard references to pinchos and pinchos culture. It's the Basque version of tapas. It's more one bite things or a couple of bite things instead of a little plate of things. I'm kind of broad brushing that, but the Basque country is where it came from. Supposedly they started up in San Sebastian, up on the north coast. Worth a visit. So the heart of Pincho country on the Camino is going to be Pamplona to Burgos. Logroño has some surprisingly good Pincho neighborhoods, so don't just walk through Logroño and not. And Logroño is worth a stay. Anyway, so Pamplona. My favorite place to get pinchos is a place called Bar Gaucho. I'll put it up here. Bar Gaucho. They've won numerous national competitions for their pinchos. Some of them are amazing. My personal favorite is sea urchin roe uni for the sushi folks out there. It's sea urchin roe on a truffle and mushroom bechamel cream white sauce with, I believe, onion straws on top. I may have a picture. If I have a picture, I'll put it up here. It's just amazing. Some of the stuff they do there. There's one that comes in a little cocktail glass. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of that one. It's a poached duck egg with the bechamel and the onion straws and some other stuff. It's heated. They microwave them. You just scoop them all together. It's remarkable stuff. Again, I'm not going to tell you where it's at because I want you to go on Google Maps and look around these towns and get an idea for what there is, because there's a lot of neat stuff. So again, Bar Gaucho. I'll put it up here. Very last thing is there's a chance this channel will disappear. I received an email from Google, the YouTube overlords. And apparently, their security algorithms, picked up that I had recommended in the budget episode that you look for credit cards that have points attached to them, travel points, to help pay for your tickets. That was, according to YouTube's algorithm and security systems, that was me giving you professional financial advice. And this channel was flagged for review and removal because of that. It was also converted to a business page. I'm now a business. They sent me kind of, AI generated emails saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I know it wasn't a scam. I actually went through and checked some stuff. But the first two emails I received saying, hey, go here to deal with this issue, they led to dead Google pages. Great. Finally, I received a link to a page. I went there, and it was just, and I know it's not a scam because it opened, there's back-end apps that you use as a creator. Not that I'm a creator, but if you mess with YouTube long enough, there's some back office apps that you use to manage the web, your content and such. So it took me to one of those, so I knew it was real, and it just wanted some basic verification stuff. And the weird thing is I can't stop this from now being a business channel. I don't actually know what it means. But if for any reason this channel were to disappear, just within about 24 hours, search for Couch to Camino 2026, and I will have re-uploaded all of the stuff. Maybe edit that budget one a little bit to not talk about the credit card. But I found that very funny. I got threatened by the robot overlords, so that's always makes for a fun morning. I apologize for being a day late. I shot this video yesterday, and 9 minutes into a 40-minute video, the audio stopped. It was just me with no sound, so that's fun. Anyway, that's it for this week. Next week, it'll be a bit of a long one. I'll work this week getting a script written so that I'll be as concise as I can. But we're going to cover travel health, traveling with medications, refilling prescriptions, pharmacies, how they work and what they are, just that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'll get a decent script written down, and we'll go from there. So I hope everybody has a great week. Temperature got back up. It's 95 outside. That's why I'm back in the cottage, because I didn't want to make this outside sitting at the table or something. So anyway, I will see you next week, and I hope you have a great one. Bye.